Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. The general manager of Sandals Grand says there should be no reason why staff should fear when it comes to the COVID-19 situation. He says the company has had the unenviable fate of having the virus on the compound. However, he says that experience only served to enhance the protocols in place for both staff and visitors. Genevieve Gonzague has more.
On October 19th, Sandals St. Lucia issued a press release denying a COVID-19 outbreak at any of its resorts, as well as condemning what they deemed malicious information. Since then, St. Lucia has continued to see a steady increase in the number of COVID-19 cases being recorded on island, with the latest batch including 2 visitors. On Friday, Hot 7 met with the managing director of Sandals Resort St. Lucia, Winston Anderson. He says at Sandals, they are focused on education of staff, and this proved very beneficial to them when they experienced their first COVID-19 case.
One thing that we have been very upfront with them is tell them facts. So in our case, not one of the team members, anything was hidden from. We dealt with them, we have a policy in place, like a lot of business, that, and encourage them, as a matter of fact, that if you come to work and you're not feeling well and whatever, let us know immediately. We're going to send you home. And this is what happened in this case. So in our case, because of the protocols we have in place, we're quickly able to identify and we're quickly able to take swift action.
Anderson explained that one of the core issues is adherence to protocols outside of the resort.
In the work environment, the protocols are so strong that you're protected. Where I find, not just our team member, I think in general, is that once they leave the work environment is where the lapse comes in. And that is really what every single day we continue to educate them on. So yes, we've seen it. We've had to deal with it. But we have been very open and frank, and our team members have come out stronger.
He says, coming out of the experience with a team member testing positive for COVID-19, Sandals has implemented even stricter protocols for both staff and visitors.
When I see the rise in case, we step up our education, we step up our sensitization, we step up our support to our team. And that is why within our hotels, for example, we have what we call protocol inspectors. Amongst the management, we have protocol marshals, which are amongst team members. So we give them, empower them to be vigilant, to be observant, both with the guests and the team members, and any deviation to bring it to our attention right away. And I think that's what we have to do. And again, I go back to this initiative today. I think this is what it is, and what's required now is a national movement towards enforcing the protocols.
The managing director says both lives and livelihoods matter. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
Friday the 20th of November is observed as International Day of the Child. And in light of the times, Hot 7 TV News spoke to one child about living through a pandemic and how she feels about her parents' role during the global COVID-19 pandemic. Rochelle Gonzalez has all the details.
They say no truer words are spoken than through the mouths of babes. And on this International Day of the Child, one youngster has given a child's view on living through a COVID-19 pandemic. Dominic George recently made the headlines after he achieved the highest score on Ireland for the annual Common Entrance exams. George said the pandemic has been a real eye-opener for him. He went on to say how he felt at the beginning of what would become the world's new normal.
I was so scared when I heard that of the deaths. That was honestly really scary for me. I just thought, would I be next? Because honestly, when that first happened, it was a really big change. All the years that I was at Dame, Common Entrance is the new big thing that you have to do. But when that happened, I was worried that I might not even be able to make it to my dream school. Because honestly, I was just so scared.
Luckily for the youngster, he has the safest hands protecting him. as he is the son of Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar George. When asked how he feels knowing that his mother is the captain steering the country through the pandemic, he expressed full confidence in the CMO.
She makes me just feel so happy, and I think she will stop St. Lucia from all this. I think this is good and bad for her. On the bad side, I think that it's bad for everyone. She might have too much work. But on the good side, I think this is also a chance for her to prove herself, to be the best CMO ever in St. Lucian history.
And as if his confidence was not enough, George continued on to applaud his mother for doing an excellent job as a parent. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. Education and Gender Relations Minister Dr. Gail Rigobert, on the occasion of International Day of the Child, has called for greater focus on the care and protection of children. She stated her commitment and that of the government to catering to the needs of the country's children and announced that all students on island will be gifted by the ministry.
This is the most opportune moment to say to the children of St. Lucia, we care about you, we love you, and we've listened, we've heard. I wish to advise that every child in our education system will, over the next weeks and months, be equipped with a digital device to allow for effective participation in online learning. Happy International Children's Day. Our gift to you.
As Education Minister, she concedes that it is a trying time for the sector and pupils, but she says children have proven to be very resilient.
I know COVID-19 has brought with it different, challenging, interesting circumstances, but as our children are known to do, they just roll with it. Resilient as they are, fun-loving as they are, curious as they are, they have shown that whatever is happening in the environment, somehow they can pull through.
The minister thanked the Prime Minister and Cabinet colleagues for making the gift of digital devices to students a priority. The government, throughout the pandemic, has been criticized for having stopped the laptop program of the former SLP government that gifted upper secondary school students with a device. At the time, the Education Minister had questioned the benefit of the program. With the increasing numbers in COVID-19 cases, the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association has sought to collaborate further with the Ministry of Health and Wellness. President of the association, Dr. Merle Clark, says that while the executive body of the association has had continuous dialogue with the ministry, namely the Chief Medical Officer, the advent of COVID-19 community spread calls for communication with general members. Nisha Charles reports.
The St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association met with the general membership on Thursday to thrash out issues that have been plaguing the organization. President Dr. Merle Clark says more importantly, the organization met with representatives of the Ministry of Health to discuss the ever-unfolding COVID-19 pandemic.
We've said in the past that our organization is a very heterogeneous group, so there are varying opinions on just about everything. And as it pertains to the management of COVID-19, opinions do vary as well, but what we always seek is consensus on the way forward, because at the end of the day, we recognize a spike and outbreak in COVID-19, we are in the front line and it will certainly affect our members. And the reality is that our role, first and foremost, is the interest and the well-being of members and by extension, the care of the people of St. Lucia.
A hot topic of discussion at Thursday's meeting was that of the backdoor entry of COVID-19. Clark reiterated that while the jury is still out on the matter, contact tracing plays a critical role in the fight against COVID-19.
The reality, I think, as our Chief Medical Officer has said, is that there's no definitive proof of where it's coming from. Now, the contact tracers do have information, and a lot of them are our members as well. There is information that they would know, but privileged information because we remain physicians, and there is information that the general public cannot know. So there was a lot of debate, for example, with case number 29, that was a long time ago at this point, with why was the bus driver's license number released. And we have explained in the past the reason why that had to be done, because we were consulted on that in part, and our members were consulted because of the nature of what the bus driver does, that you had no idea who got on that bus, who had contact with him, so that had to be revealed, as opposed to, for example, a physician, who you generally have a list of who the physician sees.
The association advocates for home isolation as well as home quarantine once there is the capacity to do so. This, she says, is critical to not overwhelm the healthcare system and hospital bed capacity. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
Pfizer and its partner BioNTech on Friday filed for emergency authorization in the U.S. for their COVID-19 vaccine. It will be the job of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, to decide if the vaccine is safe to roll out. It is not clear how long the FDA will take to study the data. However, the U.S. government expects to approve the vaccine in the first half of December. Data from the advanced trial showed the vaccine protects 94% of adults over 65. The trial involved 41,000 people worldwide. The UK has pre-ordered 40 million doses and should get 10 million by the end of the year. The two companies said if FDA authorization does come in the first half of next month, Pfizer and BioNTech will be ready to distribute the vaccine within hours. This would be remarkably quick for vaccine development, within 10 months of detailing the genetic code. The average wait for approval in the US is nearer to 8 years. Initial doses would be scarce though, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will decide who is first in line. You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, the Prime Minister and opposition trade subtle jabs but come together in the end. A tremendous response from fishers seeking government grants. And how safe can officials make the ark? Find out after the break.